Welcome to Ellis B. Feaster's Radio Aircheck and Classic TV channel.
I'm Barry Farber. Gene Shepard across my broadcast microphone right now is an American who has done uncommonly much to make America look better and brighter and more intellectual in the ears of other people who happen to be listening to Gene Shepard. I take great pride in knowing Gene Shepard. I meet people who say, gee, do you really know Gene Shepard? I say, yes, I really do. And there is no groupie chasing any rock star who could possibly give me more pleasure than somebody intelligent, an ambassador perhaps, a captain of industry, a war hero, even astronauts who can't believe that I have achieved the distinction of actually knowing Gene Shepard. Well, a lot of people know him from his broadcasts, from his books, from his appearances, and I know him at close range. I shared an office with him, and the one thing that interests people who love Gene Shepard most when I tell them is this knocks them out every time. They say, what's he like off the air, thinking that when Gene comes on, he presses a button and he's Gene Shepard, but when he's off, he's lachrymose and,
walks around and does mean things.
Yeah, exactly. Sort of depressed, lugubrious. Gene Shepard does not know when he's on the air and off the air. He is the same personality off as on. And I don't understand
That's a terrible thing to say to me.
I don't understand who you are.
Thank you.
If I had a microphone, I'm glad you say thank you, because it means you understand the import of the remark. But I don't understand where you get how you sustain the intensity.
The intensity, that's a good question. Hard to say. I think that any good performer, and you're one too, Barry, by the way. I have to pass this back to you because I've known you a long time, and I've never known anybody who worked as much and got as constant kicks out of his work. I think I think people do things for many reasons, and I think a lot of people become a performer because the idea of being a performer and being famous and earning a good income fascinates them. Those people are ultimately not going to have the intensity. Other people do things because the thing itself is the only thing they're interested in. All the rest of it is a side issue. A great actor acts because he's intensely involved in acting, so he makes $500,000 a picture, but often he's not even interested in that, would do it for nothing.
I remember when John F. Kennedy was killed, you and I worked for the same radio station. We shared the same office. Yeah. They had these stupid little divisions and partitions. I think they cost $1.98 per square kilometer for...
Yeah, you get them at F.W. Grant's and you plug them in the floor.
Yeah. And I remember hearing that we were preempted.
Now they've got smaller offices. Go ahead.
I remember hearing that we were preempted. When John F. Kennedy was assassinated, we did not have to go on the air that Friday night. And I said, thank God I couldn't talk to my next of kin without breaking up, much less go on the air. And I remember you came into the office angry on November 22nd, 1963. You said, how do you like this? For the first time in ages, we have something to talk about, and they won't let us talk.
Well, that's often the case in broadcasting. I remember that very well that night. I was playing a college that night, too. I was playing North Central College, North Jersey College, anyway, right across the river, and that was some night. But intensity, Barry, when you bring it up technically, I think intensity means involvement. If you're involved in your work, you have intensity. If you're involved in saying something, you want to do this, there is intensity. It's like... If you find that it's like being a ball player. You've been an athlete. Now I played ball, and
you played real ball. You played baseball.
Yeah, well, I played ball. Well, of course, you were a wrestler, and you know that a wrestler, a competitive wrestler, that intensity and concentration and motivation, involvement is all one. And the guy that lacks one of those elements is not going to win. He may have fantastic physical conditioning, but in baseball it's the same way. A person with great involvement he may not win, but he's going to be awful tough to beat because he just never stops. Pete Rose of the Cincinnati Reds is an example of that. Rose, he doesn't have outstanding physical characteristics, but he's one of the most lethal ball players that have played in modern times. Then because you see other people with great physical characteristics that don't have the involvement, and they're in and out performers. Richie Allen, when he's on, he's unbelievable. When he's not, he makes you look like he makes you feel like if you were playing in a Class D league, which he should be on those nights. But intensity is a constant thing. It's a difficult thing to explain, Barry, and I look forward every day to doing my show and to writing. When I write, I look forward to it. I don't dread it. I don't say to myself, oh, what a drag. I've got to do this again.
We have here on the broadcast table a document entitled That Great Inverted Bowl of Darkness by Gene Shepard.
It's a teleplay, which is going to be done on the public broadcasting system this year. It's a big series of American playwright productions that are funded by a big grant. It's a play, Barry. Do you want to read the first page?
Can we take the audience backstage?
Yeah, read the first page.
Television plays on radio.
This is a television play.
Let's see who can propel better pictures, television or radio. A dark, rainy highway somewhere in the United States. In the distance, two bright headlights rush toward the camera. The sound of the car gets louder and louder. That great inverted bowl of darkness flashes across the screen. The sleek sports car swishes past the camera with a roar. Cut to a picture of the driver as the windshield wipers strive vainly to keep the rain from obstructing.
You don't see the driver. I don't know why he says cut to the driver. That's a misprint.
No, it says cut to... I thought it said picture. It says POV. What does that mean?
Point of view.
Forgive me. Yeah, forgive me. As the driver. As the windshield wipers...
You're the driver, in other words.
Strive vainly to keep the rain from obstructing the view of the road ahead. Camera zooms into speedometer, which starts to climb towards 75 miles an hour. Camera from hood of the car zooms past the wipers.
It's night.
Yeah, to find the narrator peering out into the darkness. As a large truck roars past in the darkness, the car speeds up to a faster speed. Cut to point of view, looking out at the wet highway, speeding past. All of a sudden, two lights appear, bearing down directly in front of the car. There's a tremendous squeal as the car swerves to miss the oncoming car. As the lights rush up to fill the screen, a large explosion wipes the screen to black. Silence. A large, soft explosion of red fills the screen and then fades to black. A faint light appears at the end of a long tunnel. The camera moves toward the light until it moves into a room that glows white from the ceiling and floor. Filling the room are rack after rack of film cans stored, stretching into infinity. The camera slowly moves past the film cans, all marked with Social Security numbers. In other words, he's in heaven.
And heaven is an infinite film library.
We will rejoin in heaven. First, WOR, New York. I'm Barry Farber. Gene Shepard, I don't even want to spoil your train of thought. We were talking about your play being all of a sudden, before the credits have even finished flashing on the screen, in heaven, which is...
Well, you don't know whether it's heaven. You have to assume that because the narrator then comes in and says in a curious, desperate voice, you can read that narrator's line down there.
Where is St. Peter?
No, he doesn't shout. He says, what? Where's St. Peter?
Where's St. Be a director. What? Where's St. Peter? I never had the idea it was dark. It's dark. Maybe I'm... No, couldn't be. It goes on forever and ever. Film cans.
See, it just goes for infinity. Millions of cans. Billions, trillions.
It stretches out into eternity. I never expected this. I never thought... And then the camera dollies into a film can. With unexpected explosion of color, we get the MGM logo and then a short snippet of a biblical epic grade B movie. Someone is carrying large plastic slabs with the 10 Commandments. It quickly disappears, and the camera continues its truck past the film cans. Narrator. Look at that. Isn't that the late movie?
Well, I'm not going to do this play on the air because I'm going to wait for PBS to do it, but it's... I'm very, very excited about it because it's something that has been in the works for some time, and when they accepted it, it was quite an honor because there's other American playwrights that they're considering works of, people who, famed Broadway writers, and it's an interesting experience, and I can hardly wait to see it on the screen. because it's an attempt to use the medium in a way that hasn't often been used, I think.
You know, there are stories of yours which are obviously composites and allegories and fantasies and recollections that you don't even say are true, but I believe them.
Oh, well, I hope everybody's supposed to... See, when you're reading a good novel, Barry, or watching a good play, it is requisite that the audience should not suspend belief, but thoroughly believe. In other words, you plunge into the world of that character or that play, and it is true. It is true.
All right, but my point was...
But if it's literally true, that's something else.
There's only one story you told. Forgive me. Let's just leave a moment of uncharacteristic silence on radio right here, because I want to write down a couple of words. Shep recruited as aerodynamic expert. I'll get to that story a little bit later on. Anyhow, one story you tell is truth, which I can't believe.
I've told many stories that are true.
I know, but there's one story that you tell as a truth, which I cannot believe.
Okay.
I want to get to that. We can get back to that great inverted bowl of darkness. I don't mind giving the audience a preview. You tell a story that's literally too good to be true. You worked in a steel mill in Indiana.
That's what this cover picture is.
That's what reminded me. I can see your hard hat there. And you left the steel mill and went into radio. You grasshoppered from station to station across the country. You wound up at the major radio station in the major city of the United States. You broadcast happily ever after. You wrote best-selling stories, prize-winning stories, books. You made appearances, and you became an international figure. You scuba dived south of Eilat from Israel to Jordan to Egypt without ever coming up for air. And I think you even ventured into Saudi Arabia, right?
We landed on the beach in Egypt. I don't want to go into that. But
there's one story you tell, is that once upon a time you came back with a television crew 25 years after you had worked in that same steel mill.
That's right, as a teenager.
Yeah.
That's correct.
25 years later, and you saw, while you were there filming, a guy who knew you from 25 years.
Well, he came up to me. It was funny. Well, when you go into the mill, there are certain national safety regulations. I used to work in the open hearth when I was a kid. That's a world unto its own. And in the steel mill, again, it's like something that it's like being a submariner. If you've ever been in a submarine and worked in a submarine, you can't tell anybody else about it. It's a private experience. That's like the mill. And one day we were shooting in the open hearth, and we had our cameras all set up. And I was standing in the back there while the crew was setting up, and they were taking test shots into the ovens and stuff. And there was a lot of bright, brilliant flames going on. And of course, in the mill, you're issued fireproof coats by regulation. Everybody wears it. It's a long fireproof coat. It's kind of a jacket. It looks like denim, but it's fireproof. And you have a hard hat and the safety glasses and all. I'm just standing there, safety shoes on, which you have to wear by regulation. And I'm standing there watching them set up. And all of a sudden, a couple of other workers are walking around. Their guys are looking the whole scene over. The guys that are actually working the mill. And one of them comes up to me and says, "Hey," he said, "What are you doing?" I says, "It looks like they're setting up a TV show." He said, "Well, yeah, you're going to shoot a show here, huh?" I says, "Yeah." And he takes a long look at me. He says, "Hey," he said, "when do they put you on a day shift?" And I says, "Well,
25 years.
I said, "Well,
25 years."
I said, "Well, I'm on the day shift." He says, "Weren't you at the tin mill once?" And I says, "Yeah, I was at the tin mill." He says, "You're on the days now." He says, "When did you come on day shift?" And I says, "Oh, I says, I says, I just got shifted over from the number one slag yard, and I'm on days now." So I said, "Well, okay." He says, "Hey," he said, "well, listen," he said, who's doing the television show?" And I said, "Well, I don't know." I was playing along with it then at that point. I says, "Well, I don't know. I guess it's some educational channel or something." And he says, "But they got some guy don't know nothing about the mill." He says, "They guys come in, never know nothing about the mill." And at that point, the director turns and he says, "Come on over." So I went over, see, and I started to do the thing. I did the opening of the show. By the way, this television series is coming back on in July. And the first show will be the steel mill show. So I did this fantastic bit in front of the camera, with the devil and the flames flying and talking about the mill. And I came off camera, and this guy's stunned. And I walked back over there, and he said, looking at me, he says, "Sure, you've done that on the camera?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "How do you get a job like that?" He says, "You work?" I says, "Well, some got it, some ain't." And I walked on, and as far as he knows, I'm still some mysterious guy that works in the steel mill, and at the same time, mysteriously, is doing a television show. But he remembered me from the mill. Fantastic. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, Lee Brown is in the control room. Lee was the co-producer of that television show, and she was present when that happened. Mm-hmm. It's an absolute true story.
Glad you have witnesses.
Absolutely, and I was astounded, because I certainly didn't remember him, but he remembered me from the mill. Of course, I was wearing my hard hat. Have you seen my hard hat back in the office?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the one I had in the mill. They gave it back to me again. They keep them there, and my name and everything on it. Guys, once you've been in the hold of a ship, you don't forget it.
Mm-hmm. Shep, Gene, you told a story one time about an explosion of ham radio. Do you remember right before World War II?
Right before World War II. Actually, it was right after World War II this has happened. You mean when my ham station got blown up by lightning?
No, when all the people of the world started cross-fertilizing.
Oh, that was... there were several things. I've told a lot of stories about ham radio. I don't know which one you're referring to at this point.
The one where everybody from the different countries involved started sniping at each other.
Oh, that was a fantastic scene. Well, I was just a listener then, see. I was a kid, and ham radio, of course, is ham radio worldwide. And this is a very little-known thing in history that I've never seen anybody write about it since. But worldwide, all of a sudden, one afternoon, the world amateurs, in those days the German hams were on, and all the various hams around the world were still on. You could tell the advancing movement of the world's problems as country after country was going off the air. But one day, just out of the blue, it broke out on 20 meters. There was a giant international rhubarb where hams were hollering back and forth at each other all over. Then it quieted down and disappeared. Guys were hollering from various countries. It was a fantastic moment. And I remember that vividly. Is that the story you're talking about? But of course it was much more complex when I told the story. I'm just giving you the outline here.
When you were telling stories, not for 45 minutes at a time, but for 5.5 hours at a time, all by yourself with no guest to feed off of and bounce off of and play with, did you ever just run out of things to report?
Nope, I have one slogan, Barry. If I ever run out of anything inside of me that is story material and fantasy material, I'll go in the insurance business. And I have not yet applied at Equitable.
All right. When we reconvene, I want to tell the one story that reminds me what you just said triggers this story. It's one of the few stories where I had to park the car because I knew the other character involved. He's since passed away. You didn't even mention him then, but I called you the next day and said, "Gene, which radio salesman was it?" And you told me, and I got an additional laugh because that was almost too good to be true.
Well, you want me to tell that story briefly?
When we reconvene, I want you to tell it unbriefly. I want you to tell it totally.
Okay.
First, I'm Barry Farber, Gene Shepard, my partner for this expedition. Gene, this was one of the stories that I'll remember most. The story of you being taken by a Radio Times salesman to meet a potential sponsor. You don't go on many expeditions like that. You are nobody's patsy, nobody's sycophant. You don't like to call on sponsors any more than de Gaulle liked to call on low-ranking British attachés in London during World War II.
Well, I just feel that a sponsor has his function and I have mine.
Right. Separation of church and
That's
state.
right.
Yeah.
I agree with the New Yorker magazine in that respect. So anyway, one day I had just come to New York, and this great vast city is a heady brew when you've come from the outreaches, and so I was fascinated. I'm walking around town, and I had a luncheon date, you see, with this elegant salesman who
was elegant.
Oh, very. He looked a great guy, and he had silver hair, tremendous presence, and he looked a little bit like a UN ambassador.
And not from an emerging nation either, from one of the great ones.
From a nation that had emerged about 300 centuries ago and took charge. He'd been educated in an elegant English prep school, you know. Did you know that about him? Yes, he was, and he very elegant man. He looked like the kind of man that plays the banker in a Class A movie starring Richard Burton. And tremendous, had wavy silver hair and beautifully cut suits.
The kind of guy who made you feel like your necktie wasn't on right.
Yeah, and a very, very elegant man. And he had the ease of a man who is elegant and knows he is. And so on this day, I had a lunch date with him. So I was a little early. So I walked out on the street, and I'm walking around in the Times Square area, and as you know, the Times Square, there's millions of little porny joints and all kinds of strange places where they sell sneezing powder and Japanese 98-cent cameras that take mini pictures the size of matched heads and stuff like that. So I'm fascinated. I'm looking at all these places, and I'm drifting along 6th Avenue, this terrible neighborhood, and there's guys going in and out of doorways selling indescribable products, and I stopped in front of this little shop where they were playing over and over again. They had this laugh record, which they were playing. I'm looking in the window there, and suddenly I'm aware of somebody standing next to me, looking in the window. I'm looking at this collection of exploding cigars and stuff, and all of a sudden he said, he said, don't we have a lunch date? And I looked, and it's the salesman, this elegant man. I'm embarrassed. And here I'm meeting this man. I hardly knew him. He was such a great star at this great radio station. And I'm meeting him, and here I am standing here looking at exploding cigars. And he said, come on, I want to do a little shopping in here anyway. I'm glad I ran into you, so we might as well go in right now and do it together. So we walked into the store. I couldn't believe he's going to do some shopping in this place where they sold sneezing powder. So he walked in, and apparently the guy knew him. He said, hello, how are you? And he said, has it come yet? And at that point, the guy reaches down under the counter, and whatever it was, they had ordered it by mail, and this is a real aficionado item. And he pulls it out, and it's the most unbelievable bath mat I ever saw in my life. I mean, let's put it this way, you have seen well-endowed ladies in the centerfold of Playboy. Well, if you took their most prominent features, I mean, rich, magnificent, and pour them all together, 36 of them, row on row, in a foam rubber bath mat, in flesh, magnificent, true human color. It was just a tremendous thing. He pulled it out, and he said, here it is, and it's all ready. Well, the salesman, I was very impressed. He turns to me and he says, what do you think of that? I said, well, it's impressive. It certainly is. I mean, step out of your bath onto that, and it's really something. So he says, he pays for it. It was $5.98. I remember specifically what it cost. When you're having a strange experience, your mind works like a shutter, like a Nikon camera. You see everything. So the guy rolls it up. He rolls it up into a long roll. It was about a yard across. It's a big thing. So he rolls it all up into a nice roll, and he takes this wrapping paper, which he rolls right around it, and tucks the ends in. It was a nice tube now. It looked like a tube of wallpaper or something. So at that point, we go out on the street, and we walk down the street. I'm not mentioning this at all at this point. I don't know what to say about it. So we walk down the street, and we get to this elegant French restaurant. There's a certain kind of French restaurant in the big cities in America that has a green marquee that sticks out over the sidewalk, and that means money. Expensiveville. Any restaurant that begins with the word L.A., is going to be really high high-powered. And so we go into this restaurant, and it's rich and dark. The interior you could smell. It's one of these elegant restaurants where people meet to consummate great deals and trysts in the afternoon. And there's a waiter named Luigi, the head waiter. So we walk in, and he checks this thing at the check. There's a little check room there. And so he checks it. And he checks his hat. He wore this elegant Homburg. And I didn't have anything to check. So we walked in and we met the sponsor, who was also another elegant man. And we sat for 15 minutes drinking martinis. And as we met, of course, at that point, I was no martini drinker, and I still am not. I'm a once a week martini man. But martinis were flowing. I'll tell you, water never flowed like this. They were bringing them to us in 2-gallon jugs, with ice floating. And Luigi kept saying, "You would, you refills a drink," and he'd pour a little more in there. And my friend is knocking down the martinis, and he's enjoying it, and the whole luncheon was getting sort of surreal. Everything's drifting around, and the sponsor saying, "My God, I think that's a great idea. We'll get these banjo players, and my wife loves banjos." And so it got very, very cozy for about an hour and a half, and finally the luncheon is over. It's now almost 3 o'clock. These luncheons go a long time. And my friend he's this elegant salesman who I was very impressed by. At this point, he has gotten very effusive, and he doesn't even know I'm with him anymore. He's with his high-level friends, and we start drifting out, and we get to the hat check girl. And we stand there by the hat check girl, and he gets his hat, and with that he goes out on the street. It's out there on the street. The cars are going by, and the hat check girl says, "Oh, your friend, he has left his package." And all these men are behind me, these elegant men who are leaving with me. She hands me the package, and as she hands it, she says, "Here is your package." They think it's mine. She says, "Here is your package. Your package is here." And she gives it to me, and at that point, the wrapping paper comes off. This fantastic bath mat unrolls in this elegant restaurant, and here I am standing with a 5-foot by 36-inch gigantic bath mat, and I couldn't roll it up. As I rolled it up, it kept springing out, and these people are all looking at me. I get out on the street, and I've got finally I stuck it under my arm. I got the bath mat under my arm. Seen the most obscene-looking thing you ever saw in your life. And I don't know what to say. These people are going, "Brack." One guy's with this elegant-looking girl, and there I've got this thing. So I get out on the street, and my friend is out there hailing a cab, and he takes a look at me, and he says, "Where'd you get that damn thing?" He doesn't even remember getting it. He says, "Where the hell did you get that?" He jumps in a cab and takes off. And there I was, outside of the most elegant restaurant in New York, with an obscene bath mat, and trying to skulk down the street and look like, somehow this thing had just attached itself to me. I didn't have it. And that was one of the most, I must say, I have to say, one of the most searing experiences, next only to the time that I went to an elegant restaurant to meet a sponsor, and my pants began to dissolve. I don't know what happened. I had a pair of nylon pants, and there was something in the air, and my pants literally were dissolving on me.
Wait, this reminds me of another story you told on the air one time where you went to do a voice-over at a big advertising agency, full of the kind of elegant advertising guy you were just talking about. And all I remember is I don't even remember much about that one, but I remember it being wildly hilarious. Do you remember? Does this ring a bell?
Well, I've done a couple of shows on that. I remember being in a voiceover.
Yeah.
And all the famous men, all the famous actors in New York were all sitting there, all of us sitting in a line, and the director came out, and I'm very impressed, all these elegant actors, Broadway actors. A lot of people don't know that Broadway actors and film actors are all doing commercials without any name credit. They do voices and things. There's a lot of money in that. And so I'm sitting with all these guys, and I don't know what the commercial's about to be. And with that, the director comes out, and he says, "Well, gentlemen," he said, "here's the script." And he hands us all this script. Each one of us got this script, and it opened with us making a barking sound. barking like a dog. So he walked up the line, and all these elegant English actors and these men with 100 years in the old Vic, he says, now, let's each one of you, let's hear your bark. And I said, I have barked right next to Rex Harrison.
You remind me of two stories.
What's that?
Two stories. Again, button pushing, because you tell 2 or 3 of these stories every night of your life. I am literally staggered that you have any tolerance for being asked to recollect, much less the ability to recollect them. When we reconvened, 2 on the agenda. 1, the time you were recruited as an aerodynamic engineer, and the other, the time you walked out of a radio station with a famous national newscaster and said, gee whiz, the weather's kind of funny. And he said, well, of course, it's those men who live in the center of the earth, the hollowed out portion and the hole near the North Pole. You recollect, I've got a take on both, right? Okay, we'll explore them when we reconvene. First, WOR, New York.